Welcome to 108 Gate, where we're looking at the masculine energies. So, masculine energies, here we go. How are you all doing? Looking to do the monthly readings slightly earlier. So, if you like that, keep an eye out for that. Subscribe if you like the monthlies as well, because we're coming to the next. Just looking at time, I want to make sure I have them available to you before the start of the next month. So, interesting vibe coming in. So, shuffling around, making things feel a bit more accessible. Feeling that things may become more accessible. So in the previous reading we looked at how things were feeling out of reach, out of context on some level. Self-acceptance, as we accept ourselves, we accept the greatness of self, we accept the limitations of self, we accept the places where we could have been more diligent, more disciplined. As we do that, there's going to be more emphasis on energies coming in to, therefore, consciously, subconsciously, pre-consciously, whatever you're working on, multidimensionally, gearing towards being more organised, being more efficient, effective, utilising resources, receptive to receiving resources. Like I say that probably not as much as I should about... we need to be receptive to receiving certain things too. We can't just receive them if we're not receptive to receive them. We can say it as much as we want. I want this, I want that. I'd like to have this, I'd like to have things to be this way, and whatever it is. We can plan as much as we want, but if we're not receptive to receiving the very thing we are wanting, or the very thing we are needing, or the very thing we are asking for, then how is that going to work? So, we have a card on the floor. Temperance. So with that, finding balance and be centered, exactly as I'm saying. So now going from if you were too self-critical, bring it back to love. If you were too blowing your own trumpet, whatever it is in some areas, then coming back into the middle. Being more realistic, self-acceptance, seeing self for who you truly are. And in doing that, you're going to empower yourself in ways that you possibly haven't thought available to you. Assertiveness, there you go. So it seems like most of you are in the space of, in the realm of trying to improve your self-confidence, improve your self-esteem, have a healthier self-esteem, healthier self-worth, which is great. Because when you look at the alignment of certain things now, it's quite a good time to be doing it, especially with all the clearing that's available to be done. It's literally feeling like we're just taking out masses of stuff that we don't need. So, okay, cards feel a bit stuck. Masculine is letting the feminine go first. Feminine. Let's go. Right. Oh yeah, it's better. Right. Hello. Here we go. Here's something I have to offer you. I have riches. I have wealth. I have good prospects. I have well-being. I have good health and wealth. I have hopes and dreams and aspirations, and wanting to utilise that to move forward. And it really feels as though it's been offered to the feminine. So the external practical things that we are attending to, we are making sure we are having a different perspective of, allowing in receptivity, receiving stuff. It's as though some of us may be lucky enough to just have like a I'm seeing like a procession of offerings coming in, so it's like one after the other after the other after the other, and to not fall into the what is going on, oh my goodness, and feeling like it's going to end, feeling into it and like, I deserve this has been a long time coming, and being receptive, remain receptive to receiving the good, remain receptive to receiving the prosperity, the gifts which have been long overdue, and they're coming in now. So you've got the Knight of Serpents, the Queen of Serpents. The Queen is definitely feeling like, yeah, I have worked for this. I have earned this on some level. I just wasn't ready to receive it because I didn't have anywhere to put it. I wasn't ready to receive it because I didn't know how to. So what I mean by I didn't have anywhere to put it is like within self. If self is feeling negative or sad or depressed, anxious, any of those kind of lower energy kind of vibes, then the appreciation for something good coming along isn't there. Therefore, it's got nowhere to be nurtured. It's got nowhere to be, oh gosh, it's got nowhere to grow. That's quite an emotional energy, because there's going to be a mountain or a string of revelation. So I'm thinking like a string of pearls, revelation after revelation, epiphanies. So in the name of that, let's bring this in. Oh, string of pearls. Bringing it in, letting it come in, just let them come in, let them come in, let them come in, let it come in. And it's emotional because you know what you've been through to get to this point. You know that you've been deserving this whole time, but you just wasn't aware of how others have been blocking it from coming to you. You weren't aware of how others were blocking you from allowing yourself to receive it. As you become more aware of this, as you become more aligned with this, as you become more in touch with this, it's gonna feel quite substantial. You're going to feel like a different part of you is opening, a different aspect of you is being connected with, which you're going to then have another learning journey, another learning process. But like I say, and I will continue saying, I feel currently, should I say, rather than always, I feel and I believe it's always more beneficial to usher yourself in gently into new comfort zones, rather than just boom, like in a bombastic manner. More of a gentle easing into new territory, new comfort zones, making sure you're safe, and you're checking that the ice is firm before you step on this frozen over lake. You want to make sure that it hasn't got thin spaces. You want to make sure that you're not standing on a rug that someone else can pull from under you. You're better able to do that. You're more willing to take the necessary steps to make sure that happens. King of Swords coming in, that masculine energy of being alert, being aware, but at the same time now mastering that energy and that consciousness, that psychology, that emotional and social interaction of making sure that you can be alert but not allow it to hinder you. So if you think about when you've gone into panic, or if you've gone into anxiety or depression, whatever it is that you experienced that wasn't the best feeling, to go and try and be productive from that space wasn't the easiest. So now, knowing that you can be productive because you can be alert in a manner, in a way that is practical, you can apply it and you can still be aware of your surroundings, aware of what's being said, aware of who is saying what, who's doing what. Having those skills now, building quite grandly and profoundly of how to protect yourself should anyone come in with a bit of animosity, should anyone come in with directing you in the incorrect direction, knowing that that's not for me, and thank you but no thanks, thank you but no thanks. So there was an interesting thing that I saw this morning about bullies. which I kind of understand. So if bullies, having that, we had it the other day about silence. So the way we communicate is different. So silence with some people is going to be speaking more volumes than actually giving them something back to retaliate with or to feed off. So silence in some ways, okay. But then there was another part of it of like, if there's some people that actually start pushing harder because you're being quiet or silent, then this is what the King of Swords is about. It's like some people you just be silent and they just back off and just wither away. Some people you just give them a one like and then they just back off because they're too scared. But then there's some others of like, you just ask them like, I don't understand what you mean. So if they're belittling someone, or if they're being unkind, or they're being mean, and they think being thinking they're humiliating someone else, but just kind of acting or behaving as though like, I don't quite understand what you're saying. How are you trying to how are you actually trying to humiliate me right now? How are you actually trying to make me feel little right now? Because I don't quite understand. Basically just showing an empowered state and an empowered space of self, and just letting them have to repeat them to themselves of like, what are they actually trying to say, and let them sit with it themselves. I'm not sure I explained that quite well, but it's basically my point mainly being that King of Swords, you're going to be building up different strategies with different people, remembering that, okay, this didn't work with so-and-so, this worked better. And then, if nothing else, like to have gone through so many experiences with so many people in different ways that weren't really the greatest, you kind of have a different appreciation of self. Hence, Queen of Serpents saying, I'm here to receive. Hence, Hierophant here to say, you've gone through enough. You don't need to be suffering. You don't need to be punishing yourself. You don't need to be feeling like you need to be punished. You don't need to be allowing others to feel like you need to be punished or behave as though they can punish you for something you haven't done. There you go. Letting the tower just fall. As the tower falls, that's what's going to allow. So if you think about the tower being there with negative energies, as that tower falls, then the Knight of Serpents can ride past that and has a space to come in with an entourage of spiritual gifts, of emotional gifts, of well-being, of good health. That feels lovely. I just literally keep seeing some kind of old base, like a historical kind of dowry being delivered by horse and camel, and each camel has, or each horse has like a massive trunk attached to it on a cart or something. Oh, I don't know. Maybe we do some time travelling. Who knows? So going with that strength, just let the tower fall. It's going to be so tempting to try and save something, try and rescue something, try and stop something, try and go back to old patterns, but you really want to just stay consistent and stay moving forward, stay focused on where you're going and why you're going there. You're going there because you need to. You're going there because you have a higher perspective of this. And even if others don't know what you're doing or why you're doing it, you know. Trust yourself. Really, really hunker down within yourself of like knowing why you're doing certain things, and don't let the wind blow you. Don't let the words of others come and distract you. Don't let any of that take you off course. Don't let any of that let you doubt yourself. Just get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger in what you're doing, in why you're doing it, in the way that you're doing it, trusting that at some point they will understand, and if they don't understand, that's not on you. This is about you. And there is that possibility again of the more you do this, the more that is actually going to be helping other people, that's actually going to be helping past generations, future generations, ancestral stuff. That's how it's going to happen. I know it sounds selfish, But if you stand up for yourself and you send out that message, you send out that frequency, you send out that transmission of, this is how I'm going to stand up for myself, this is how I'm going to make sure that I am respected. I have to respect myself first. I have to respect me and my needs first. Very, very powerful reading. We're going to get one more for here. And then I think we can go on to the masculine energy. I don't know if she wants to go or not. Wait. Lovers. Oh, I'm going to cry. With joy. I really just feel like there's I can sense that there's the reason I'm getting emotional is that I can sense and feel that there's a lot of you that really have a fabulous, generous, loving, kind heart. And no matter how much love and generosity and kindness you poured into certain situations or people, it just didn't make the difference that was required. So to retract that love and have to be strong in not giving the love in the same way, it's like behind a concealed space. You can't express it. Just as much as you weren't able to see the gifts and that are coming to you, in stopping and allowing yourself to be receptive to receiving the gifts, then it has to be that yin and yang, the balance of it. It means that you have to then allow someone else to not feel those things from you, because you can't, it's just not sustainable. It's not out of cruelty, it's not out of selfishness, it's not out of being mean, it's just simply the fact of it's not sustainable. Therefore, in stopping certain things, they have a chance to rectify their behaviours, to change their patterns, to pay attention to how they've been behaving, what they've been doing. And if they don't, again, just standing back and not interfering, standing back and having the strength to just not lead them. It's like when I said it before, when I've worked with children before, and you're teaching them how to walk on beams, or you're teaching them to do this, or write their name or a letter or whatever it is. You can only give so much instruction. You can't hold their hand and do it for them, because they're feeling your hand moving the pencil. I can't walk the steps for them. They have to feel the confidence to move along the beam themselves. But if you're there constantly just like, I'm here, don't worry, I'm here, and doing the work for them, they won't feel what it actually takes. Same as if we have children and we kind of like, we want them to feel that earning power of like, know the value of £1, know the value of $1, know the value of a yuan, know the value of a euro, know the value of a krona, whatever it is. Know the value of putting your time and effort into something, and then you can get the reward. And if you don't get the reward, having that faith and trust that you've got to keep going, then you have a mass of energies, like just building, and just receiving then the love, receiving the prosperity, receiving the well-being from it. How much strength that takes. And it sounds a bit weird, but it's like, how much strength does it take to actually receive goodness? It's not that you can't, and once you do, it gets a lot easier and it flows easier. But the fear that's been put in place, the obstacles that have been put in place to stop you, to prevent you from receiving, those are the things that present the challenge. Those are the things that make it difficult. So the strength it requires to remove those obstacles, the strength it requires to have that faith and trust, even when you're on your knees and you just don't know where you're going to get the next bit of strength. You don't know what solution to even ask for. You sometimes lose hope that there's any solution at all. But to keep that strength in your heart and to keep going, let the tower fall. let the tower fall. There we go. Oh gosh, I'm going to start crying. I've got to go. More love, let it in. Let the love in. Let the divine support in. It's holding up a cup of love. It's holding up magnificent energies. It's just literally carrying you through. Just let yourself be carried through. Remember the strength you've had. You will remember the strength you've had. Now your task is to remember and feel and trust you're worthy of the greatness that's coming in for you. Beautiful reading. So, like I said, I'm hopefully going to start on the monthlies today, hopefully. Either way, we're still in this month, so check out the playlist for your particular zodiac sign. And I do encourage that you have a natal chart at hand. Get to know your natal chart, especially now. Things are going to get so weird. Like, we think things are weird now. We ain't seen nothing yet. We haven't seen anything yet. Just look at where it impacts certain parts of your natal chart. I can always put a link in the bottom as well for one I use regularly, if I remember, because sometimes I'll move on to the next reading and I'll just, may forget. Remind me. Don't be fearful or scared or whatever, hesitant to remind me that I said I'd do something if I'd forget to or don't. Anyway, for now, have a great day. Peace and love.